Order at 6:08. Public comment. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to speak? Anybody? Nobody's online, right? It's not a Zoom thing, it's just a recording. So we'll go right to legislation referred to. First order is FY 23-060 adoption of a 5-year capital improvement plan. I've had a chance to review it and bring it with me. It's at home all marked up. Red line, yellow line, smiley faces, sad faces, all this stuff. But no, it looks good. Do you have any questions?
Nope.
Do you, the only thing that I think we need to at some point clarify is at what point are we going to start? You have a lot of money in there for road repair. I guess there's different variations of how are you going to get that funding?
Yeah.
And, I guess as it gets close to that, we'll need to, as a council, discuss how that funding is going to impact us, or whether it's debt exclusion, a combination of many things. But overall, we have a plan, and I like it. I like that we have a plan. We have money to have a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the pages are a little blurry, but that's okay.
What?
But, some of them, the black ink is so good, it's hard to read. It's like bold black, and it's like blurry a little. Did you notice it?
Probably. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need stuff for the viewing impaired.
So, but overall, I mean, you can talk about it at the meeting tonight, but I don't have any problems with the capital plan. We have one. Obviously, this year we funded, I think, $1.8 million worth of capital needs of the schools. I don't know if they're going to get their track on that.
I talked to Ryan about the track, and the track is on their radar. I think they've signed an agreement with the contractor. They're just waiting for the work to start.
So I guess, if you don't have any questions, then I guess, you don't need to explain it to us, but maybe in council meeting, you might want, if anyone has questions, but so I'll entertain a motion to accept the FY 23-060 adoption of a 5-year capital improvement plan as presented by the town manager.
So I'll make that motion to approve order 0 FY 23-060 adoption of a 5-year capital.
And I'll second that. Any other discussion?
I'd only point out, just for Mark's benefit, partly, this doesn't mean that you're tied into any of these. It just means that here's the plan. This is what we're projecting. And quite honestly, I think we already know that we're going to have items being added next year, next year's capital plan. So it's a document that's designed to change every year. But it just gives the council a really good idea of what's out there and what's coming down the pike. That's all.
Thank you.
All those in favor?
Aye.
It's 2-0. Next item is the transfer order, end of year transfers, FY 23-061, end of year transfers. So this is something that's normally done every year, Mark. So the town manager goes through, deficiencies in certain line items and moves money from one account to another account. So you can see in the description of the first group of where the money's coming from, and then the second group where it's going. So I have a question. 151 legal expenses. He needs $50,000. Is it due to activity or?
That a good chunk of that is due to labor council. So we've
Go
had
for
a couple-
negotiations, no contract.
So we've had a couple of issues. We've had a couple of issues at police. We've had a couple of issues at fire, and then we have negotiation issues with both of them. Nothing bad, but just required outside council.
Do you have any questions?
No
regarding?
questions, pretty straightforward. So I'll make the motion to refer order 0 FY 23-061, transfer order, end of the year transfers.
Second. Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 2-0. So that was my only question. And, you know, town buildings was a lot to transfer, so you might get questions from the council, other councilors on it. FY next order, so that passed 2-0. FY 23062, transfer of, oh my God, WTR, water
Water.
transfer receipts. I got that wrong. Did I get it right? Water, this is a quiz.
Water receipts reserved.
WTR
Yeah, water.
is water.
Yeah.
WTR is water, right?
Yes,
Oh, it's not like an acronym? It's actually.
Just water.
It's just water.
It's just water.
You got to put the A and the E. Was this too much to put the A and the E in
Yeah,
there?
It's like the letter K and the word
It's
yeah.
really water. It's
We're-
real water.
We're
Okay,
very,
Water High Street Treatment Plant completion. So you see that transfer, which is, I looked at that one. And that one's coming out of retained earnings, that's what, water retained earnings for 980,000. So this is really not coming from any capital. It's coming from their earnings, so.
correct. And this was, you know, when we plotted out funding for the water treatment plant, there are some pieces of that, some pieces of the funded project are not eligible for SRF funds. We knew that right up front. So this covers a good chunk of those items that aren't eligible for revolving fund.
So is there any other questions? Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to refer order 0 FY 23-062, transfer to water high street treatment plant completion.
So it's really a motion to recommend. right?
Recommend.
To
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, it's 2-0. Next item is FY 23062, transfer order CPA transfer to Memorial Building Capital Project Fund. Memorial Building Capital Project Fund, and this is for an additional $95,000 from the CPA Historic Reserve account to Memorial Building. And there's a letter attached from the Community Preservation requesting this amount of money for its purpose.
I'll move that we recommend order 0 FY 23-063, transfer order CPA transfer to Memorial Building Capital Project Fund.
I'll second. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, 2-0. So far, batting 1,000, Deb. Without Sean.
You certainly are.
Oh, the last one, that's right. This should be easy, hopefully. Ratification FY 23064, ratification of 2% COLA increase for retirement benefits. This one here has been milling around for a while. I've been asking you, has Plymouth County done anything yet? Has Plymouth County done anything yet? They waited till the middle of June to do it. So,
So ironically, I called the retirement board. I guess it was right about the end of May.
Yeah.
I said, what's going on? And the new guy, Patrick, I guess, got back to me. He said, oh, it's timely that you called because I'm sending, he said, gave me
yeah.
a copy of the letter that he sent. But didn't give people a whole lot of time to get it on the agenda.
It's unusual that a request like this comes before the town. But because of the legislation that was put in acted last year, it was filed by mass retirees and some other group to kind of give some relief to the retirees during high inflation. So normally retirement boards have the authority to vote up to a 3% COLA on their current base. To go above that 3%, it requires an act of the legislature and an act of the retirement system. So Governor Baker, when right before he left office, threw a kind of a kink into this for the local systems, the state and teachers, state retirees and teacher retirees got this in July last year. They got it with their July check. The other local systems, because there's 102 in Massachusetts, had a second caveat where they needed local approval. So for example, where I work in Braintree, we needed to vote on it at the retirement board level. It had to go to the mayor. He needed to recommend it to the council.
Yeah.
And then the council needed to vote. This is just for the 2% extra, 1 year, one time, one and done. That's what this is. For Plymouth County, which is where Bridgewater is part, what Bridgewater is part of, there's even a little more tricky because it has to go to the local towns within the Plymouth County retirement system, Bridgewater being one. And not only does it have to, even if Bridgewater voted no, if, I don't know what the number is, it's 75% of the towns need to vote yes. Two-thirds. And, you know,
Yeah.
so, to me, it's a no-brainer. You put in $20 a month in someone's pocket. That's gonna be retro back to July 1st, so they'll get a little bump in their check. So, I think Bridgewater's support of this is needed. I don't think you have a problem with it, right, Mike? It doesn't affect our budget. It doesn't have any direct impact on this year's budget.
No,
It's just an unusual request to make the locals have to go through this. Anything right? Did I get that kind of
no,
right?
that's perfect, yeah.
You can say all that in the time.
So
I can't remember all that.
So I'll move to recommend order 0 FY 23-064, a ratification of the 2% cost of living adjustment increase of retirement benefits.
Second, any further discussion?
And
All
that's,
those in favor?
I'm sorry, you did mention it's just on the first 16,000 of retirement benefit, right?
He didn't, but yeah, yeah. It's big, so you take 2% of 16,000 and then you retro that back. So it's, yeah, so in Braintree, we're still at 12,000. Yeah, it's pretty bad. I'm trying, it's going to 14, but it's gonna take a couple more.
So is the.
So what's 2% of 16,000? Is it $30?
We have 147 retirees.
147?
Yeah, so it was approximately additional 47,000.
Right, but it doesn't come out of our budget at all.
No,
So
out
it's-
of
It's part of the appropriation that'll be dealt with when they get a reval, but, anyway, so, yeah, the base is 16, and it's going to 18 too, Mike.
Is it
They're going to 18.
next year?
I think it's July 1st.
This year?
It's going to 18.
That's why our assessment.
It's getting close to being paid off, though.
I
But
know,
there's some big payments coming up.
there are big payments coming in, but
Big payments coming up, but you look at the chart, when it gets to zero, it's like, ooh, so close.
we talked about, what is it, 2030, 2028?
I think it's 8.
Is it
I think it's
28?
2028.
And that used to be so far away.
But I have a feeling PERAC may throw some kinks in that and say, well, it'd be nice if you were 105% funded.
Or it'd be nice if you paid off your, health.
Oh, the OPEB stuff. That
OPEB,
PERAC,
yeah.
that's not part of this.
But
That'll be the
that the
next schedule.
legislature.
That'll
will
be
say,
the
"Oh,
next schedule they
here's
come up with.
all these cities and towns are gonna get this huge chunk of money freed up. Why don't we just make them pay for that?
Something's gonna, it's gonna be, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know if I'll be around for that one, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. So we have a motion, we have a second.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so that passes 2-0, all 2 to 0s, A through E. Any public comment? Before we adjourn the meeting, anybody join us while we're in here?
No one joined you.
Nobody did, huh?
That's distressing.
That's disgusting. Anyway, it's, this thing, 6:22, entertain a motion to adjourn,
Motion to adjourn?
motion second. Any discussion? You can't discuss that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned at 6:23 PM. So